welcome back to another episode of 12 About Movies. I am Tyler.
I'm Todd.
And we're back to our normal, proper 12 About Movies format.
Yes.
Yeah, taking you through new to streaming, or rather leaving streaming since we're at the end of the month.
That's right. A little bit of both.
A little bit of both,
A little bit of both.
Staff picks and new to theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you need to know for this movie-going week.
That's right. The week, the next 10 days ahead, we got you covered on what to watch.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah. Let's jump into what's new to streaming this week, Tyler.
No time like the present.
No time like the present. All right. Well, I think one of the bigger things that's hitting the streaming sites, it lands on Disney this week, and it is the, I guess, reimagined version, the live-action version of Ahsoka, which is built from the Clone Wars.
Animated show for kids.
Never saw an episode, so if you have, I hope you could tell me a little bit more about it.
I saw like 2 seasons when I was like 11.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I don't feel like I have any authority to speak on this.
Yeah. I'm going to check it out. You know, I mean, the Disney Plus Star Wars series have been kind of hit or miss for me, if I'm going to be honest. I thought Andor is probably the best Star Wars related thing ever. I think I like it more than the original trilogy. I just think it's so smart and Star Wars for adults, and I really like that. I don't know much about this character or this, timeline of what they're into, but I'm gonna check it out. It'll be awesome, right?
Anakin's apprentice or Padawan or something. I'm not sure.
Sure.
To be even more honest, I completely checked out of the series after Episode 9.
Yeah?
It is scorched earth. I can't go back.
Okay. All right.
I can't go back to that.
Well, if you're not going to go back to that, then let's move forward.
Yeah,
let's move
I have
forward.
nothing to say. Yeah.
Let's move forward really fast, super fast,
yeah.
as fast as you can.
Breaking the time, speed, zone, whatever it is.
The Flash.
Yeah.
DC Comics, big new movie this summer hits Max on this week.
Yes.
And I know that this movie was kind of like torn apart by critics, and it's got a lot of things going wrong for it, but I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be, well, I don't know if the movie's going to be fun. The watching experience will be fun. I will make it fun.
Yeah.
But I think, it's one of those movies that I think people expected a lot more from. Everyone from like Tom Cruise to Stephen King until like all these people were like, best comic book movie ever.
This is so good. You have to
see it. And then it opens up and everyone's like, it stinks.
Yeah.
So
can we say that on the show?
I don't know. Is that copyrighted?
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun watch.
Yeah.
I'm here for Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton only.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good reason to see it. I skipped it. It looks, the parts I've seen either look really, really bad, like worst movie of all time, but other parts look pretty fun.
I've seen some CGI clips online that really have me questioning how this movie cost as much as it did.
Yeah, the cameo sequence is abysmal.
Well, yeah, I can't wait to finally watch that in like HD. Anyways, moving on. So this one's been streaming for a little over a week now on Netflix, and I think I'm going to check this one out. I love me some late-stage Russell Crowe, especially when late-stage Russell Crowe is on a Vespa.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about The Pope's Exorcist, which is currently streaming on Netflix. I love horror movies.
Yeah.
Give me old Crowe. I don't know. It sounds like it'll be just a real cheesy time, and I'm into it.
Yeah, that Vespa really looks. We're really hyping up the Vespa, but I'm sure it's only going to be in like maybe 2 shots in the movie.
I heard that it's second credited. It's Russell Crowe,
and then
Vespa,
and then whoever plays the Pope.
Right, and then the Pope. There's some other stuff dropping on Hulu this week. We have John Cena continue his reign as some sort of comedy king in Vacation Friends 2. I didn't know that there was a Vacation Friends 1, but those that are fans of it, I'm sure they're really excited that there's a sequel.
Pumping their fists.
Yeah,
Woo,
John Cena's funny. I think he actually is probably one of the better, I think wrestler turned actors. I think he's funny.
Yeah, I'll watch him in anything.
I mean, he's great in Peacemaker, so I probably won't check this movie out, let's be honest.
Life is
but
so
it's
short.
available for you to check out, so there's that.
For all the Vacation Friend heads out there.
Right,
yeah.
right. Although one thing dropping on Hulu this week that I am actually pretty excited about is called How to Blow Up a Pipeline. And you and I talked about this briefly the other day. You read the book that it's based on.
Based on a book or like an essay type thing. maybe a little bit more instructional than the movie is.
I hope that the movie doesn't teach you how to blow up a pipeline, but
I can hope it does.
But yeah, it's like eco-terrorists plotting to literally blow up a pipeline to save their land, more or less. So it seems really interesting. The trailer released this week, and it looks intense.
Yeah,
like really intense.
I'm skeptical of how really radical this movie can be. Well, with like big Hollywood money behind it.
Sure.
But if there's even like the mention that maybe pipelines are bad, I guess that's a good thing. That's a win.
All right, well check it out. That's on Hulu. I know one of our most liked films of the year that's already been streaming for the last couple of months on Paramount, but since a lot of you don't have Paramount and you have Amazon Prime, it does drop on Amazon Prime in the next week or so, but Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which was just a real bright spot. Like what a surprise that movie ended up being.
Probably the biggest surprise of the year for me, easily.
Right?
Yeah, from the directors of Game Night. I don't know if you ever saw Game Night.
I did. Game Night's great.
An
one of those directors,
fun comedy.
One of the directors is the star of the ill-fated Freaks and Geeks series.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. He grew up to be
a
great screenwriter and filmmaker.
Yeah,
so.
John Francis Daley was in him.
Staley, yeah.
Great show.
Chris Pine, hilarious. Still continues to prove that he is the best Pine. So
no competition.
The best Chris. He's probably the best Pine out there as well.
Probably. Yeah. If you have a better Pine, email us.
Yeah.
We'll debate it.
Movies at NBC12.com.
Yeah.
Who's your best Chris? And then we do have dropping on Amazon this next week as well, Best Picture nominated Women Talking.
Yes.
Which won for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yes,
Sarah
it was
Polley.
a book, yes. I skipped it. I was going to watch it, but then last year I watched The Whale and got so fed up with that I was like, I'm done with the Oscars.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can get a little Oscared out.
Yeah, The Whale definitely Oscared me out.
Yeah.
And the cinematography, at least showcased in the trailer, looks really unpleasant and really flat. So
yeah.
I wasn't really itching to watch this one. But I'm sure it has a good message.
I'm sure it does.
I've heard the dialogue kind of sounds like it was ripped out of a TED Talk, which, I don't know if that works for the movie or against the movie, but,
It worked enough for it to win an Oscar for it.
I guess so, yeah. Best Adapted TED Talk.
All right. Leaving streaming. So we have a number of movies that are leaving all the streaming sites at the end of the month. A few notable ones leaving Netflix. If Beale Street Could Talk.
Very important.
I think that is just one of the most wonderful films of the last few years. And really kind of came and went. Barry Jenkins had Moonlight, it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And for those that didn't stay up late after that Oscars, it did win Best Picture. You just had to give it a few minutes for it to actually get the award, but it did win. And then this movie came out and an incredible score by Nicholas Britell, great performances, and then it just kind of didn't really do much, which was a little bit of a disappointment because I thought the movie was gorgeously shot and just wonderfully acted and just a real important film of that year.
It's weird that people just kind of stopped paying attention to Barry Jenkins' career after Moonlight.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but yeah, he's directing, this incredible landmark story from, James Baldwin. If he's not the most important author that America's offered, I don't know who is.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know why people stop paying attention.
Yeah.
He's still great. I'm sure Lion King Part 2 will be amazing.
I guess he's doing a Disney Lion King.
Maybe that's why he's
less said about that, the better. But you do have a few days to check out If Beale Street Could Talk on Netflix, so do it.
Yes.
Also leaving Netflix, it's going to end up on a streaming site the very next day, I'm sure, and most of you have it on your DVD shelves already. But Jurassic Park.
There's no way you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
but
if you haven't seen the movie Jurassic Park,
what are you doing?
Are you okay? Do you need to talk to somebody? But yeah, that movie leaves Netflix. Little note about Todd, me, hi. It's my favorite movie of all time.
It gets the shout out.
I love it.
It's our show.
My favorite movie of all time.
It's our show. We get to shout out what we want.
It's the only Jurassic Park that is as good as it is.
Yeah.
All of the sequels. But Jurassic Park, great movie. Check it out if you haven't already. Also, what's wrong with you?
If you've seen it before, watch it again.
Watch it again.
Yeah, it's still good.
It's a great movie. It's honestly, for a movie that is 30 years old, it has better special effects than, say, The Flash. Which is a movie that came out 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Take that info.
That shot with the Velociraptor with the genetic code projected onto it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That's got to be like the best shot of any medium ever.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Props to Dean Cundy. We're big Cundy heads over here.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Great cinematographer. All right.
Varied filmography. Very varied.
Yes. We could do a whole episode on Dean Cundy.
Yeah.
Maybe we will.
You wanted to dedicate our September special episode to the works of Dean Cundy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
All right. Our staff picks for September will be Dean Cundy shot films, guaranteed. All right. A couple of kid movies that are leaving. I caught this one a few weeks ago with my daughter, but The Bad Guys, kind of a cool little movie.
The animation looks nice.
The animation's cool, has pretty decent voice performances, and has a really good lesson about, people can learn lessons and turn pages and, become better people. I thought that was a nice little message.
Nice.
And then Chicken Run, which was a great Aardman film from 2000, I think.
Yeah, turn of the century, roughly in that area. Yeah.
It's more or less The Great Escape, but with claymation chickens, stop motion chickens. So
yeah, another movie where if you haven't seen it already, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Chicken Run, Jurassic Park.
You had 2 decades.
Get on, guys. Come on, let's do this. We got Do the Right Thing, Leaving Peacock, seminal film.
Yeah.
Literally made Spike Lee a household name.
Yeah.
Very important film. And then we have Dunkirk, Leaving Max, which, Christopher Nolan, I know we've talked about him, I think, on every single episode of our show so far. Sorry.
Yeah, we're only bringing up Dunkirk to keep the streak going.
That's our goal, is just at least mention Nolan once in every app.
Which is funny because he's not a director I'm particularly fond of. he's hit or miss with me.
Here's the thing. He's a director that I think it's easy to be like, oh, and then you can kind of poo-poo his work. But then you watch his movies.
Yeah,
and
you watch Memento. It's like, he had it. He has it.
This guy's pretty great,
Yeah.
And then just in time for spooky season, Max, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're getting rid of the entire Hellraiser series from your streaming platform just as horror movies are kicking in.
You got to purge it. People don't want to watch it. Halloween's coming up. Who cares? Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasted space.
Did you catch the Hellraiser remake from last year?
I didn't.
It wasn't bad. It's not the same thing as the original, which is a wild film.
Yeah.
Real wild movie. If you haven't seen Hellraiser, original Clive Barker, it's insane.
I was always skeptical that it can reach the sadistic levels that the first 2 do, especially.
Oh, absolutely.
It does?
No, not at all.
Oh, well, then I was right to skip it.
I think it has some pretty interesting things going for it. There's some set pieces that are gore-tastic, but as a whole, it's just missing the dirty, grungy, salacious vibes of the original film.
Who was the character in the second one that was skinned a lot? He was just no skin walking around. Was that was it the
Frank?
uncle?
It's Uncle Frank.
Uncle Frank, yeah.
Yeah.
I could not watch part 2. I was so disgusted by him.
Yeah, well, Frank. He's the main. He's the main guy in the first 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wild character. That's
disgusting.
Frank. He's Frank. Yeah, Frank's disgusting.
I can't stand
Watch Hellraiser.
It's great. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to staff picks.
Staff picks. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna stick with the trend of what's leaving streaming.
Okay. I didn't do that.
That's fine. You don't have to.
Awesome.
I only have one movie. And also leaving Max at the end of this month is Demolition Man. Which it came out in the early to mid 90s. It's got Stallone in it and Wesley Snipes, and it's set in the future. Sandra Bullock's in it. Taco Bell's won the fast food wars.
Taco Bell sci-fi.
If you got to go to the bathroom, you got to learn how to use the 3 shells.
Isn't there a spaghetti robot too?
I'm sure.
Yeah. Or was that cut out? I forget.
Dennis Leary shows up as King of the Underground. It is a movie that I would watch routinely, and this is weird. I don't know. Kids probably don't do this anymore. I would get up early in the morning, before I caught the bus, and I'd make my breakfast, my bowl of cereal, and then I would sit on the couch and I would watch Demolition Man in 15-minute chunks before I caught the bus. So on Monday I'd watch 15 minutes, Tuesday I'd watch the next 15, Wednesday, Thursday, so on and so on. And then, at the end of 2 weeks or so, I'd have finished the movie. I'm
not sure if kids did that back in that time either. I think that was just a Todd thing.
It's just a Todd thing.
Yeah.
It's just a Todd thing. Only Todds will get it.
That explains Todd.
It actually explains so much about me. But yeah, no, Demolition Man, a really cool action movie that I think just has some really weird ideas behind it. But yeah.
Like it or hate it, it's impossible to be bored during Demolition Man.
Very true. Yeah. And Wesley Snipes is unhinged. And I'm not even talking about his jumper that he wears, his Oshkosh Bagosh overalls.
Looks very cool.
He's got the blonde hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snipes rocks.
Yeah.
Anyways, Demolition Man, cool movie. Check it out. It's on Max for the next few days.
All right, great.
What do you got this week?
I have 2 staff picks. Okay, and for the first one, imagine, if you will, a film.
I'm imagining it.
Okay, a man wakes up on the street, bloody injury in the head, and no idea who he is, where he came from, totally amnesia. He walks into a coffee shop and there befriends an ex-nun who is struggling to write marketable adult literature. I mean, adult literature. And together they go on a journey to try to find out who he was. And the further they go on their journey, the more they realize that this guy might not have been such an upstanding citizen. In fact, he might have done some horrible things to innocent people. Those people weren't horrible.
I think I'm in.
Yeah, well, get this. There are even more bullet points on my little pad of paper. Michael Imperioli, Parker Posey, and Tim Blake Nelson all are in this for like one scene each.
I love Parker Posey. Put Parker Posey in every single movie.
Parker Posey is technically in 2 scenes, but they're like right next to each other, so it's pretty much just one appearance. And for the music, this is what's really exciting. We have songs from people like the Jesus Lizard, Liz Phair, My Bloody Valentine, Yo La Tengo. I mean, this is like 1994 Yo La Tengo, really hip stuff. Pavement, PJ Harvey. It's insane. It's one of the best soundtracks ever.
What movie are you talking about?
Amateur, directed by Hal Hartley from 1994.
Hal Hartley?
Yeah.
That is a filmmaker I never thought we'd ever actually talk about.
It's weird because, you know, Hal Hartley was like such a big impact on the like 90s American like indie scene. You know, he's mentioned all these, you know, conversations of Soderbergh or Linklater or whoever else. But you don't really hear about Hal Hartley anymore. And I don't know why.
I don't even know if I've ever actually even seen a Hal Hartley film.
I have.
I've heard so much about him.
I have quite the pick for you. It's called Amateur.
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 All right, put that one down. Where's that streaming?
It's on Criterion Channel.
Okay, cool.
Which, you know, I don't know how many of our viewer base has a Criterion Channel, but it's maybe the best service you can have.
I think you say that it's the best service, and
it's either Max or
I'm not
Criterion
disagreeing because I think Criterion's important because it exposes so many people to so many films that they would otherwise not be exposed to.
And I'd argue it's the best curated.
That I'll give you credit for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have a Criterion account, and I think I've used it like twice.
Well,
I know.
You
I'm
can
a
use
horrible,
it a third time for Amateur.
Film watcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Amateur.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to spoil the slate for the next episode, but they are adding a Hal Hartley collection to the channel.
Okay.
I think 7 Hal Hartley films. So.
Get Criterion.
Yeah.
Watch some Hal Hartley films. We'll discuss them in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure I'll pick, you know, another Hal Hartley movie for my staff pick then.
Email us your reviews at movies@nbc12.com. Hal Hartley.
Hal Hartley. Yeah.
All right, cool. What's your second pick?
Second pick is a movie I've been a fan of for a while, but only just recently became, you know, readily available to watch. It's Hollywood Shuffle. By Robert Townsend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, a film I've never seen, but I've heard, you know, I've heard of for years.
Yeah, it's available on Prime right now.
Okay.
And it's about, well, it's a satire of the 1980s Hollywood system, or I guess even, you know, Hollywood before the 80s.
Sure.
But it depicts this studio system in which black actors can only be casted as gangsters or slaves or an Eddie Murphy type character.
Yeah.
And this young man, played by Robert Townsend, goes through a series of moral dilemmas after accepting the lead role for a feature film called Jive Time, Jimmy's Revenge.
Yikes.
Yeah. No, it throws some serious accusations at the system. And
Good. Rightfully so.
I know, right? Yeah, it's a film of a lot of righteous anger.
Okay.
But it's also really funny.
Okay.
I mean, one of my favorite comedies ever. The black acting school sequences. I think that might be one of my most rewatched scenes on YouTube.
Interesting.
Just
Hollywood Shuffle.
Hollywood Shuffle. It's very good. It's kind of like Spike Lee's Bamboozled, if it was a lot more optimistic and a lot funnier.
I think that movie needed a lot of that, so that's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think the
cool.
only way you could dislike the film is if you were, you know, studio head in the 80s.
And honestly, good.
Yeah.
You don't want to like that movie.
Yeah, very charismatic. Yeah. It's calling you out.
Be better.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, new to theaters this week. We're reaching the end of the summer. School's back in session. Studios aren't really putting forth their best films.
Not really.
Biggest movie that's coming out this week is Gran Turismo.
From
hold
gamer
up,
to racer.
Hold up. is Gran Turismo, based on a true story, which
From
apparently
Game
is now the actual title of the movie.
I don't know what they're doing. The release for this film's also been really weird because they've done like 2 weekends of like early screenings.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Just call the movie Gran Turismo. You don't need to have based on a true story in the title of a movie. I feel like that's a bit much. Anyways, it is kind of an interesting story where the video game Gran Turismo exists in the world of the movie, which is based on a true story, because in real life, some kid was really good at the game and was like picked by, I don't know, race car people to come and actually learn how to drive cars and race based on his game playing. Which
He's just such a good gamer.
It's basically The Last Starfighter.
Starfighter, yeah.
Yeah, it's The Last Starfighter, but with race cars instead of spaceships.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Neil Blomkamp directs. He's almost become a journeyman director at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he really like just rocked it so hard with District 9, and then everything after that has been really kind of
from
messy
middling to atrocious.
Yeah. Maybe it'll bounce back with Gran Turismo. I've heard that the racing sequences in this film are actually pretty nuts, which makes sense because Blomkamp's quite a visual filmmaker.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he's going to put forth any of his like sensibilities, it would be in the racing car sequences. So there's that.
David Harbour's in it too.
I like David Harbour.
I love watching him. He can't save a movie though. Hellboy was pretty bad.
Yeah, I never saw that Hellboy.
That was an affront.
I'll
to
just
God.
watch the Del Toro one again. Both of them.
Have you read the comics?
No.
I gotta lend you some comics.
All right, lend me some comics.
They are amazing.
And then we also have Bottoms, which is a high school comedy.
Sounds like a Fight Club type thing.
Yeah, a female fight club set in high school.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. From the director of Shiva Baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the star. As well as Edo Berry.
Yeah.
From The Bear.
Yep.
Bring it, right?
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
It'll be funny, right?
I'm gonna see it.
And then if you guys like Liam Neeson, punching people, you have your monthly film. It's called Retribution.
They're showing this one in theaters.
This one is going to show up in theaters, and then by next Tuesday, it's available for streaming somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Liam Neeson, he punches people. I don't know. I think this one, it's like he's in a car. He's
Okay.
like stuck in a car, so he uses his car to punch people. Sure. I don't know. I'm kind of Liam Neeson out when it comes to the action stuff.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Unless they do something really, really new and original, I'm just like.
Did you see that Russell Crowe movie? Was it Unhinged?
Yes.
He needs one of those.
Unhinged was really wild. Like I said earlier in this episode, I love late stage Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe is just like a guy that got like cut off on his way to work and he's having a bad day and just like goes wild.
Yeah.
I'm on board. That was a fun movie. A dumb movie. But super entertaining.
Russell Crowe running after this 8-year-old kid.
Very funny.
Oh my God.
Very, very funny.
He's massive, dude. Like gut hanging over his belt, chasing this kid.
I kind of just love Chubby Crowe.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to circle back to our episode from last week where we did discuss our favorite films of the year, and I did catch up with Blackberry in the last week, and holy moly, that might be my #1 pick this year so far.
All right.
It just shot up. It's so good. I haven't stopped thinking about it in the last week. Everything that Tyler said about Blackberry is on point. It's basically a baby social network, and I just loved it. I thought it was just so well done. It is such a huge movie for as small of a film it is.
Yeah.
It's made on a shoestring budget with, I don't know, some pretty decent actors pop up in that film, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But it tells such a big story. It just feels so much bigger than it is, and I just absolutely loved it.
I really think it's so amazing how excited Matt Johnson gets you about the creation of this phone that no one even uses anymore.
Right.
But it's like, that first meeting where they like try to present the product and they forgot in the car.
Oh,
edge of my seat.
Edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Edge of my seat. And when Jay Baruchel's character shows up with the prototype, I was just like screaming. I was like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Blackberry, check it out.
You can check our last episode where we talk about the top 5 movies a year for a more in-depth discussion. But I mean, that feels like an instant classic for me.
It's a great movie. It's definitely one of the best films of the year.
Matt Johnson.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And it won't get nominated for Jack Squad at the end of the year. But
it's too late.
whatever. Those that know, No.
Mhm.
So
A little-
give it a shot. Blackberry is so good.
A well-kept secret for
Right.
the 12 About Movies with Tyler and Todd community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Blackberry.
appreciate- And now we come to the section where we do pour a little bit out for our lost loved ones. And we have a list of movies that are leaving streaming at the end of August.
Yeah.
And we would just like to pay our respects.
Or you could just rent them, I guess.
Yeah. They're available somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that wraps up this week's episode.
I think that's it.
We'll be back next week.
If you're mad at us, if you have any thoughts about anything.
Especially if you're mad at us. Definitely.
Yeah, we're looking for, we want to get into fights with people.
But really constructive fights, right?
No, I'm trying to.
Fisticuffs?
Yeah.
All right.
At least
fisticuffs.
name calling.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're up for fisticuffs, hit us up at movies@nbc12.com. For this week, I am Todd.
I am Tyler.
Catch you later.
All right, have a good one.